Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine. Let's talk about Teen Wolf Season 6, Episode 12, Raw Talent. As you can see, Americ is not here today. No, actually, he's just unavailable right now. And he's still pretty much recovering from Game of Thrones. But anyway, that won't stop us from talking about what happened in Teen Wolf. Interestingly enough, this whole episode starts with Theo. And I so wish Americ was here because it would have been quite funny to torture him with the opening of this episode. But Americ would have probably been like, yeah, suffer, Theo, suffer. And I, on the other hand, was like, oh, poor Theo. But then again, he's probably like, this is so much better than hell, guys. So much better. So yeah, Theo is like living out of his car. And then he got this spider thing that just went inside his body, which reminded me of the beetles in The Mummy. And I never liked it then, and I don't like it now, and I don't know what it's all about. Theo is pretty badass when he decided to literally stab it out of himself, which probably hurts like hell. My question is though, how are the spiders related to the villain? Because at first I thought maybe the spiders are creating that fear in people, but I don't think that Scott got any spider going into him that then made him paranoid or scared. So that makes me think that what creates this fear in everybody isn't necessarily the spiders, but then what do the spiders do? And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later on. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to start here because they made a big deal out of the spider going in Theo and him actually killing it before it was able to spread or do whatever it's supposed to do. Also, closing up this Theo story in this episode, he gets caught by some new hunters. We're assuming those are the new hunters that Argent talks about later in the episode. And they shoot him, or at least they shoot through the car and they just cut out, and then we don't see Theo anymore. And you know, I actually meant to go back and look at the trailer to make sure if we actually saw more of Theo, but we do. Actually, now that I think about it, we do see Theo later on in the season. We obviously see him with the team, so he's still alive. I thought it was actually a really great opening, and I know Americ is gonna be a hater and he won't admit that it's a great opening, but it is a great opening. I call it. It was great editing, great music, great performance. Loved it. And I wanna move to Icon House, which I had a thought about Icon House in this episode because it seems that every time there's a problem, it's, you know, going back to Icon House. And I thought, how is this place still open? I mean, aside from the fact that people just die there, it looks quite old and quite dirty and not really well taken care of. There's only like 1 or 2 people that seem to be working there, and they don't really seem ever to be competent. I mean, who keeps this place open? Who even runs this place? I was like, what? Like, no, don't send anybody there. And now, you know, we have a homicidal doctor who's killing supernatural creatures. I mean, granted, you know, he's probably influenced by the new villain, but, you know, what the hell? What I did like about the Icon House storyline is that Lydia came right on time to save Parrish, and we got to see a little of Lydia in action. I do hope that these last episodes will use her a little bit more, not like previously, because I feel like we know Lydia can fight, even if she doesn't use her banshee powers all the time, but we know she can actually has some moves. I mean, Parrish taught her well. So I hope they give her more action because I love seeing Lydia kicking some ass. Also, I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I'm still sad that they kind of closed the door with her and Parrish because I feel like they were kind of growing that relationship and then it suddenly was like, oh yeah, never mind, this almost never happened, which I feel like they do that a lot in the show. I mean, Kira, for example, is just gone. It's like we never hear back from her. It's not even like Scott decided to break up with her. I mean, it assumed that she was going away for training and would probably come back. But we never talk about her again. At least Allison died. So you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he has to move on. She's not coming back. But it wasn't established that Kira wasn't coming back. And then we have this whole, you know, Parrish Lydia thing was happening. And then it broke up. And then Malia and Styles broke up. But I still feel like, but anyway, that said, I am glad that Lydia is with Styles. I mean, I'm fine with that. But I still think it's weird that they just don't close the storylines properly. Just give it some closure. I just put a line to it, like, oh, this doesn't work. Move on. That's fine. But you don't do that. Moving on to looking for Argent. And so Scott, as I mentioned, has this vision of hunters coming after him, and he wolfs out in front of everyone, really, in front of like the sheriff's department or the cops. Thankfully, Parrish and the sheriff are like, yeah, no, it's fine. And, playing with the light, I guess they couldn't really see what was going on. Although one of them was like, what's wrong with his eyes? Like, she was like, I don't know about this. And of course, the bigger question here is what is affecting Scott. For now, I want to talk about the hunt for Argent. I just love that whole sequence of events, between Malia trying to guess the password. It was just like hilarious. And then you have Argent trying to make this deal and trying to figure out who's buying all of these weapons from him, when Scott and Malia are trying to help him, but not really, because they kind of knock out his inside guy. So it's like, oh, sorry about that. And then Malia refusing to pulling the guy away from all the shooting happening. She's like, oh, I'm not going. And I'm sure Americ will be very happy about the fact that we got a Scalia moment in this episode. Scott and Malia definitely had a moment. It was clear this time. And I thought it was actually really sweet that Malia was trying in her own way to get Scott to talk. Like, she didn't really care about talking about it. She just felt like, well, maybe he wants to talk about it. So she was subtly hinting at, like, yeah, so why would someone think they were hunters after him? I don't know. I mean, if you want to talk about this, I'm totally cool. And from the trailer, we know that something is going to happen between these two. So this is definitely laying the ground for that. I mean, I'll admit it. They're cute together. They're cute. I still like Kira, but like I said, I don't mind that he's not with Kira anymore, as long as you make it clear or you just kind of close that door. But, Scalia is cute. It's cute. And then one last important point we got from finding Argent is that the myth about a silver bullet killing a werewolf is a myth, and that if you're an old-time hunter, if you've been doing this for a while, you would know. So the fact that someone is using silver bullets, it means that they're new and they don't really know what they're doing, which I think we know that she definitely doesn't know what she's doing. Although apparently she has raw talent, but more on that later. Let's go to the school where Mason and Liam are discussing that creature. And Mason actually makes a really good point about the fact that what kind of mythical creature is so bad that you had to trap it into the wild hunt so he wouldn't hurt people. Yeah, what kind of creature? Like, that's a good question. I'm kind of worried about that one. Brett is back. Mason seems very happy about that. And I was like, hey, what about Corey? Unfortunately, the counselor notices that he seems to be quite a strong player of lacrosse, and has a suspicion that is, of course, proven true when she throws a wolfsbane ball to him. And he's like, oh, okay, that just kind of hurts. And she's like, aha, I knew you were a werewolf. And he almost got her. But she was saved by Gerard, who's now, building a new freaking hunting team. It seems like he wants to kill everyone. I really was hoping that he wasn't going to be the villain this season. I'm afraid that because she seems to already be doing really well, not knowing too much, if you put her with Gerard, he could teach her so many things that you probably don't want her to know. So that's not going to be good. And now I want to get back to the spiders, because we get some more information about the spiders, or sort of. Well, the spiders kind of went into this guy. I think this guy's name is Aaron, the new kid. He just absorbed a lot of them. I love how Theo had one, and he's like, nope, getting this one out. But this kid was not so lucky. He got like a lot of them crawling in there. There was a body in the locker room, which at first I thought, oh, it's Aaron, but then I was like, no, it's not him, because obviously we saw him later on. So did he kill that whoever that body was? Because it seemed to be totally peeled of its skin and had no face. right? I don't know. It was not pretty to look at. And then they go and they find this guy sitting, and he's like, oh, I forgot we had an exam. And he's so creepy. Which makes me wonder if that kid Nolan has had some spiders going on in him too, because he's creepy as hell as well. So yeah, so we don't really know what the spiders do. Obviously, they're connected to the villain, and we got more information about the villain in this episode. It seems like in these last episodes, the theme will be all about fear and people fearing them, and they confirm that. It definitely seems that this creature, whatever, mythical creature, whatever it is affecting people's perception and fears and is enhancing those fears. And it doesn't seem like it's only affecting humans, because it looks like Scott was affected as well, except that his fear is humans, or more specifically hunters, and then their fear is the supernatural creatures. Of course, I would love to hear what you thought of the episode and what your theories are about the villain. When do you think we're gonna actually meet him? Like midway, maybe? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our Teen Wolf reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!